Welcome, everyone. We are back from lunch here in Toronto for the Unsung Events One Piece Regionals. I'm joined by my co-caster, Vandal. I am Alto, and we are so thrilled to be bringing you some more matches. Before lunch, we saw Vivi almost get there, so close against UG Luffy, and now we are back for some more shenanigans.
Yeah, so we still have some shenanigans decks left. We still have some Rosies, even though Rosie is a very strong deck in this meta. We only see 3 of them still, so I'm not sure if it's because not many are converting, maybe they're seeing bad brackets, or maybe it's just one of those niche picks. But we still got some spicy stuff. I think we got some Sabo, some Kobe's, OP15 Luffy, Sky Luffy too. So we're hoping to show you more of that stuff too. But this one's also still going to be really fun because it's a matchup that I want to learn more about, which is Nami into Rosie.
Yes, and we do have the one and only CrossAI himself playing Rosie. I actually just faced him on Monday on this deck and he cooked me, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he pilots this into Nami, and I'm just excited.
Yeah, so we're going to go into the game now. They're going to be Nami going first, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah, and they won the dice roll going first, and you said, was it a mulligan situation?
Yeah, so Cross mulliganed his hand, but our Nami kept. And so it looks like one Dawn attached to leader from Nick, and passing over to Cross here. Cross playing the Kobe Searcher, looking for something with the Navy type. And of course, both of our leaders here, Nami just wants to become a 7,000 power leader, can do that basically on a whim by pitching a card, and also will draw a card anytime a life is removed from a player's area during her turn. And of course, we've got Rosie back again, able to cheat out law-type characters by returning a Dawn and reducing their cost by 2. And it looks like Cross is also going to drop a Marineford Search here for another Navy.
Yeah, lots of searching in this deck, and those new support cards for Sengoku also work for Resonante, so it just adds a lot of flexibility on what deck composition you run. And we're going to see the 7-drop Borsa picked up. This is not a commonly run card in this deck.
What?
Yep.
Wait, I'm sorry, was that a 7-drop Borsalino?
It is a 7-drop Borsalino.
Is he playing Sengoku? Wow, a little spice coming through. Nick, just 8k straight away. This is typically what Nami's like to do on this turn. They just don't have strong 3-Dawn plays. Cross takes, and that will of course trigger Nami's leader effect, allowing Nick to draw a card and pass the turn.
Yeah, so we're seeing go back to Cross here. So ideally you have a 4-drop law that you can develop here and put in some pressure. So since you can't swing 7, just put in the 5, because 6k won't make a difference here, because either way it will be negated with leader ability right there, pitching the Kikunojo, followed by a 1 Dawn Search. So this allows you to look at the top 5 for 2 Navy cards, and then you have to trash 1.
Yeah, Buddhist Sengoku, just nice cycling and filtering, allowing... That's kind of like the novel part of this Rosie deck in this meta, switching to this Navy package, able to find cards like, I guess, Borsalino, but typically looking for cards like what we just saw, Sakazuki and Rosie Law. So kind of finding both of the pieces there that Cross needs for some of these late game turns.
Yeah, so both those cards are really key, because having those blockers means that it's really easy for you to just like stop these 7k swings, protect your life, keep yourself healthy, deny the draws, as well as the Saka is very good at helping you clear things like the Robin.
Yep, and just dropping that illustration box law here, allowing Cross to just kind of keep up his Dawn total, establish a 4/6 blocker that of course he can always protect if he needs to with his leader effect. And going back over to Nick, it looks like... Yeah, and he just topped his Dawn so fast, because on 5 Dawn, what does Nami do? Nami plays Nami. That will force Cross here to take a life, attaching a Dawn to leader, which also will activate Nami's leader effect on the opposing turn. So Nami, just everything you want on a 5 Dawn package, and drawing a card because a life left the area and a 6 swing coming through.
Yeah, so here, Cross can choose to block and just give up a 1k in order to get out of this. So it's just going to be a 2k though, because it's hand, and you kind of want that law and trash, so you can pick it back up with I Love You. But we're going to Cross's 6 Dawn turn now, so that 6/8 Rosie Law is going to be active, and we're going to see a 7k swing across.
Yep, that 7k, just no hesitation here, Cross knowing I'm going to tax you 2 cards here, 1 for leader ability, and then another card, and Nick thinking, okay, do I actually want to pay this price? Maybe I want some of these cards, maybe it's better to take, but of course you want to stay on a high life total as Nami. You want to utilize your leader effect as much as possible, because you don't know what other swings are going to come through on this turn. So it looks like Nick just thinking, willing to sacrifice 2 cards here just to stay healthy.
Yeah. Especially because, you know, if your hand size goes too big, you also don't get to trigger and draw more cards, too, from life taking. So it's always good to just keep that there. And so we see -1 Dawn for the leader ability, followed by a 4-drop, a 4-drop Rosie Law. So 4 Dawn for 8k body, ramp a Dawn active, and draw a card so you have less Dawn. So really great 6-8 replenish play. That's basically a free play.
Yeah, the mid-game engines for both decks coming online. NAMI, ROSI Law, these are exactly what you want to see in the mid-game. They're just these powerful bodies that do everything that your leader wants you to do and help you find the win con that you're looking for. And now it's Nick's 7 Dawn turn. Now, of course, could play a Robin here, but then you can't attach a Dawn to leader. So I'll be curious what he has in store for us. Maybe a 4-drop. It looked like there was a Galdino in hand. Might opt to draw here. Might opt to put pressure.
He might still opt to play the Robin anyway, just because it guarantees you a draw this turn.
That's true.
Because, you know, otherwise I don't think you can swing quite through these 6 and 8s, not cleanly anyway. And even if you don't have leader ability active, getting swung into just means like, well, there could be 3 triggers, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So Nick just thinking about what he wants to do here. He wants to both apply pressure and establish a board at the same time. It looks like just going to start with 6. I always like this. You're not committing too much. You're going to see how your opponent reacts. And then that will allow you to map out the rest of your turn according to Cross's response here. Looks like Cross just thinking to take the free block.
Yeah. Cross probably to read that there's going to be a 7-drop Robin coming through. So this is like likely not too bad to do. No real punish here because if NAMI decides to not play the 7-8, she's not really developing anything further, like nothing to contest the board, and Rosinante's board gets out of control really fast.
Yeah, 100%. And looks like you were right. It is the Robin coming down that will trash a life, a Borsa in trash. Always love to see that as a non-yellow player. And then healing back that life and an additional life. And I thought NAMI was a 4-life leader, but that looks like 5 life cards in
There is no maximum life count. You can go over your starting amount.
Imagine if life was capped. That would be a very that would be an interesting game if you were capped on what you had. But of course, NAMI is not 5-life leader now. And going back over to Cross for his 8 Dawn turn.
And we see a snap 7 Dawn play here, and I think it's the Sokka. And just immediately developing it, this Sokka is tons of immediate value, followed by tons of continuous value too, because -1 Dawn allows you to minus it by 6, and then Mamaragan minus 2 more Dawn to rest it. So now this is a 2k. Yeah, this is a 2k Robin that's really easy to clear, and yeah, resting 1 Dawn with the Sokka just restand or set 2 Dawn as active. So this Robin's not long for this world.
Yep, and opting to say, I will just take the life. Of course, when Robin dies, you must take 1 damage specifically, which could kill you if you were at 0 life. But that's a worthwhile trade because an AK body that swings every turn ends up usually demanding more from you in the long run. And so Cross saying, I'm going to play a longer game here. I want to keep your board completely under control. And that's just what Sakazuki enables for this deck, and especially with Mamaragan to just rest things and swing into them.
We're seeing a 6. Oh, yeah, which NAMI are you talking about is the clarification. I think here, Cross just wants to get cards out of hand because he's winning the value game. So even with a life flipped up here and a card played from hand, you're actually still denying a card from hand. Yeah.
And Hogback getting flipped up as a requirement.
So it could be a Zoro and you heal, but then your hand size gets pretty low. Or,
it's a
or it could be Galdino here. That could be it too.
Yeah, it depends, because Galdino could also cycle and find something else to play as well, should he choose to pop it on the turn. So I kind of like that. Galdino, just such a powerfully strong card. And of course, now Cross also knows that there's a Hogback there that could trigger.
Yeah, and he's asking what's in trash, so he can know what Thriller Bark targets are available. But this is a little bit of an annoying situation because, you know, should this Hogback actually come onto the field, which I'm not sure if there's another one in trash, there are Kikunojas that can be played off of it. So, you know, you'll never want to clear it.
Yeah, and so I'm really curious to see how Cross plays this out in the rest of his turn and how he chooses to respond in this situation. Looking to just play another Marine Forward, keep searching. But it's really fun to watch players like Cross. Of course, he went to Worlds. This guy's he's a champion. He knows how to play this card game at the highest level, and so it's just always a pleasure to sort of see how he navigates these game states, especially when he has like a lot of information here to work with.
Yeah, I think right now he's trying to dig for Borsalino. He really wants to put himself at a healthy life total from here on. He doesn't want to play too many bodies out before playing Borsa because then he's overplaying the Borsa to heal each turn. He wants to play a Borsa, block with it, play a Borsa, block with it, right? So we can see him, even though he had other great options on that search, he opted still for like, nope, I'm going to look for another searcher and dig for that Borsa.
Yep, and 9 Dawn turn here for Nami. Is that a Gravity Blade that I spy in hand?
Oh, it is. Ooh, that's not going to feel great.
Yeah, that is essentially in the deck for this matchup. And so we could see that Grav Blade come through with a Galdino to just freeze up the board and draw.
Yep.
Kind of resetting the game essentially.
And that's not going to feel great because, like, here, Nick can choose to go 7 or 2 6s, and without 1 Dawn up for I Love You, it's going to be really annoying to get out of these swings.
Yeah. Wow, the Grav Blade just doing so much work in this matchup. That's that's exactly what you want to see. Looks like Mama coming through as a 1K. Does Cross have too much Dawn to draw? Yeah, he does, so he doesn't even get the draw off the Mama. And he pops Galdino, freezing the Sakazuki, drawing 2 cards. Cross's board is frozen. He's at 1 life, and he's got another 7,000 power swing coming his way.
Yeah, Nick just seeing, and you know, obviously there's no searching in Nami, but people don't really run too many copies of it, so when you see it in this matchup, you definitely feel pretty good.
Cross down at 0 life. I mean, of course, he is yellow. There are ways to heal, but this is not where you want to be this early in the game.
Yeah, so we're going to see how Cross is going to bring it back from here. So 2 Dawn going into his 9 Dawn turn. He has a searcher. We don't know if he has Borsa yet, but he has a lot of ways to search and filter through the deck, so see how he's going to get to that point. And, oh, so many cards in Nick's hand right now, and 5 life. This is a pretty big hill to climb.
Yeah, we're going to have to see, you know, what made Cross the champion here, if he can to claw back into this game. It's unbelievable. Nick has a huge hand, so much life. Cross has 0 life, and his hand is also dwindling. Going to opt for a Borso. I think that you just kind of have to play it here, able to recover a life because he's at 2 or less. And of course, Borsa is also just a blocker, and going to also play a ROSI Law, cheating that out, allowing him to gain back a Dawn and draw a card from the ROSI Law effect. Of course, ROSI Law also a blocker here, so just a wall coming seemingly out of nowhere for Cross, gaining a life and 2 blockers.
Yeah. We saw 5 swing come through, so Nick can choose to take it and trigger a body here just to get a body back onto board, or can choose to obviously guard and just keep a very high health total, very high hand count.
Yep, just pitching that Perona now that also has a Perona in trash. Could become relevant should he need to freeze something. And looks like Cross using the Marine Forward second effect, allowing him to rest it, return a Dawn, and then draw 1 trash 1. Just filtering, cycling for what he needs. Pitching a 2K there. Looks like the X-Drake going into trash. And another Buddhist Sengoku coming through. Top 5, allowing him to take 2 Navy cards.
I think there's a Borsa at least, so I'm definitely taking that one. And then what other thing is going in there?
Yeah, and again, just filtering. After he chooses 2, he'll have to trash 1, so he just has to kind of think about what he needs to sort of just restabilize in this game and start rebuilding a board. Of course, what he does have in his favor is that Nick does not have anything on the board, so he has complete board control, and that is one of the win cons against Nami for a lot of decks, is you try and either freeze their board or you deal with their board so that they just don't have enough swings to finish the game. Yep. And so Cross will have to keep that board maintenance up. He might need another Sakazuki. He might need another Mama Rocket. He might need ways to just clean up Nick's board consistently.
Yep. So Cross here thinking real hard about this next one, and it's going to be an I Love You event, so getting that functionally 2 2Ks worth of counter into hand with the I Love You.
Yeah, and it looks like he chose that over another Borsalino. I think there was 2 Borsalinos in that, as well as a ROSI Law. So that is a really big decision. That's kind of everything that you might want in that search there. And so Cross just taking some time to make sure he has what he needs going forward in this game.
Yep, and now the Sakazuki is free to attack the following turn. That 7 cost line is definitely very annoying for Nami to deal with because that 7 cost line is just highly unattractable other than with Galdino. So Nick doesn't have a board right now. So, I mean, yeah, you have all these cards in hand and a huge life total, but
is that
you're
another
off the board.
Gravity Blade? Do I spy another Gravity Blade in hand?
Did
he just Grav Blade again?
Very painful.
I mean, Cross only has so many ROSI Laws and so many Borsalinos in the deck, and we know Nick doesn't, that he's just bottom decked a bunch more of them.
But here's the interesting thing. If you bottom deck both of them, you're just playing the Borsalino again, because you will actually get to the bottom of your deck again.
That's true. That's a good point.
You will very likely get to them and just play it again.
That's 100%. Yeah, you might actually just be allowing Cross to heal even more. So opting here for the Gecko, going to 6 life now, putting a Kumasi in life. we know there are some targets for Kumasi in the trash, at least the Perona that was pitched last turn. And Nick is just healing away, and Cross is controlling the board.
Yeah.
It looks like Sokka coming down with Mama. Wow. So minus 6,000 on the Gecko. Mama will allow him to rest that.
5 it to 4K, so I think that's not long for the world. And the other question is, do you start swinging to life and then dealing with the bodies that pop out? Or is it too frustrating to have to deal with them?
Yeah, and that's always the question. It's like, at what point can you start to deal with these bodies, right? Like, and not die?
Ooh, we're seeing 8 from the... We're seeing 8 come through. I think maybe Cross has a read that... Like, he's like, I want to kind of cash this out a little bit because I might not get value out of it at all.
Right. Yeah, I think so. And also maybe just saying, like, I know you'll likely take this, and I have to just start chipping away at your life. I mean, you need to kill your opponent to win the game.
Yep.
And so at some point, Cross is going to have to start just getting through the tide of Thriller Bark triggers that await him. And leader effect coming through, pitching a Zoro and a baby 5. So Nick's trash is stacked. He's got Zoros in there. He's got Kikus. He's got a Perona. He's got everything that he needs should he trigger something like a Gecko to just ruin Cross's day here.
Yep. And Cross can now kind of do the Enel thing and just have infinite Dawn, because now those 2 Sakas can constantly just give you 4 Dawn a turn as long as you rest 2 active. So... Let's see where he goes from there. I think Cross is content just not putting more pressure down just because he's keeping that hand size very manageable. I think he does. He still has options to swing into, so let's see what pops out of here. It's going to be a Perona, so you can actually just swing into it right now and clear it. You're very safe to do so.
Yep. I guess Nick probably wishing he had another Hogback in trash that could have been played there, because the Perona is just not optimal.
Yeah, and interesting that Cross didn't opt to swing into the Perona with... Oh, one of the cycles were played this turn.
Yeah. So he didn't really have a choice there.
It's hard to tell whenever you have multiple copies of the same card. It's like... but also, it's funny that Nick's life total was reaching over into the other side of the play mat. It was like...
I guess for next stream, we'll have to add like a little additional area for the life total, a little add-on to the side.
Yep.
It looks like a 6 swing coming through, just hitting enough power that the Borsa can't free block it completely, and demanding a card from Cross here, and we'll get the Kobe out of hand.
Here, Nick may be tempted to bottom deck these, but no. Block. And 7 Dawn left. Is it going to be? Nope. Not graduate still. Trashing that. Healing 2. So... This is a massive life total.
Wow, and so Nick just starting to rebuild the board. Like the progress that Cross made on his life last turn has just been completely nullified. And now the life's face down, so you don't even know what you're going to be up against. So it's going back to Cross here. Again, he does have a healthy board. He has a lot of Dawn to work with. He can Dawn minus freely for his Marineford to cycle and get it back with Sokka. And so how can he put on the pressure in the most effective way, starting with a 9? Looks like it's probably going to life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fake. Is there any trigger? Nope, no trigger. 5 into the Perona. Just knowing that you're trying to clear this Perona just makes it so you don't get any value off of the effect on the ROSI.
Yep, and then he still has 2 8s that can come through. Quite a lot of pressure that can come down. Going to make it 9 again, just hitting that threshold where Nick will have to give quite a bit. And as Nick, the question is, you just take this to keep your hand. Yeah, starting to maintain the hand. Does draw a Galdino, it looks like, off life. And there's just going to be another 9 Cross with an onslaught of swings here. And Nami is losing life as fast as she is gaining it.
Yeah, and even with this massive hand size, one of the challenges that you're facing is like, if you don't have a board, the hand size just gets whittled away very fast. So I think Nick does have to start spending some of these cards to stay at a healthy life total, because he does have to replenish a board. But, ooh, that's an expensive number of cards to spend. And -1 Dawn we see for leader ability. So an option here is actually the Healing Law, the Secret Law EV. The 8-drop will allow you to swing 7 and heal and develop another ROSI Law, actually.
Whoa, you're right. That would be a really strong tempo play here, because as we see, Nick's hand is dwindling. He's down to 5 cards in hand. I'm not seeing maybe an ideal play for next turn. He may end up having to just Grav Blade again. And looks like Cross is... Here it comes. The Borsalino. He's been holding it.
I understand now why this tech card is here. It dodges the Gravity Blade.
Right.
So you can choose to not overcommit the board into a Gravity Blade state and do this. And if Nick Gravity Blades here, you're actually kind of happy the Porcelain's going to the bottom of your deck, because that's the only way ROSI can play it over and over again, is if you keep bot decking it, he gets another chance to play it.
Yeah, he's just staying out of Grav Blade range, and it looks like we are going to see another Grav Blade coming down. But of course, I think Cross is okay with this. I mean, he's still got 3 huge bodies. The Borsa can, of course, basically free block now for the rest of the game, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Blocking the 8 and probably pitching a card here. And it just doesn't look like, oh, going to go with the I love you. Yep. That will be plus 2,000 power, then allow him to take a 2K. And we saw that law pitched right at the beginning of the game. That goes right back to hand. And looks like 8-8 are our swings here. Another 8 coming through. I imagine Cross will just take this. And what an interesting game state. So Nick does get to draw, so that's helpful for him. But he's still not really building a very threatening board.
Pause.
Okay, and it looks like we are switching back over here. A pause may have been called, so we're just pausing the game here. We're just waiting to see what's happening. A pause has been called. And of course, in these stressful situations, you never quite know what is happening here. And so we can see Cross sort of reacting to what happened, and it appears that Cross did not return to Dawn to make his Borsalino a blocker. That would be my guess as to what happened, but we will have to see what how this goes. I was recently playing a little bit of Sengoku myself, and I made the same mistake. I played down the Borsalino thinking it has blocker, but of course you do need to return to Dawn, so just confirming what happened there.
Alrighty.
And my co-caster is returning.
All right, I am back, guys. We just had a quick conversation with the judge. It looked like this was an issue with, they both thought that it was an activate main for the Borsa effect. It is an end of turn, but both players are willing to resolve it as it having being active, only because even if we had -2 at the end of turn, Cross would have started the next turn at 10 anyway. It was a slight misunderstanding effect from both sides and the judge, but it has now been clarified, and the game can continue as it is.
Right, and of course I think the Sakazukis were used before that happened, so it was
Yes.
a reversible game state. And so we're just right back at it, and Cross has dropped another Sakazuki here.
Yes.
He's going to minus the Robin. Does he really want to KO it, though, and go down to 0 is the question. I mean, he could. I think he might be pondering or contemplating.
There's no need to actually ramp it back, because he'll just start the next turn at 10. Some people are making that comment, but yeah, if you're at 8 on it in your turn, you're fine. Just start the next turn at 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely reversible game state, and we have fixed it. And so now we want to see, what does Cross want to do? Does he want to clear the Robin? Does he want to just say, I'm going to minus it for the turn? Of course, that power reduction does last into the Nami's turn. And it looks like Gum Gum Lightning. Is that coming down, or was that pitched? I think that was probably pitched for the Marine Ford. And how does Cross want to do his swings? Just thinking here if he wants to swing at life. Does he want to clear the Robin? And of course, we are starting to get down on the clock, so that must be a factor in both players' minds. Going to start with an 8K swing to life. Taken with no trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Another 8K swing to life.
Yeah, you don't quite have to adjust this Robin if you don't want to, because it will stay -6 for the turn following.
Yeah, and of course,
pitch?
yeah, Borsalino can just free block the leader swing, so you're kind of,
8, because,
8.
you can restand the Borsa at the end of turn by finding the -2.
Yep.
Oh, Perona. Trigger probably a hog back here.
Yeah.
Yep. Because it's unclearable in this point.
Yep, and so our first sort of unknown trigger popping out of life, unexpected. So let's see how Cross decides to deal with this. This, of course, does get Nick one step closer to threatening lethal if Cross doesn't have an event or a way to survive. Of course, he will still have that blocker. So Nick not quite there yet with lethal, but getting closer, inching ever forward. But we see Nick down to 2 life. He does have a healthy hand size, 10 Dawn here to play with. And now the question is, what's he going to play with Borsalino?
Yep.
5K swing coming through right off the bat. just going to be a tax for the rest of the game. This hogback here, the hogback tax.
2K law sent there. 5 Borsa heal, so Nick just getting himself out of that dangerous range, just keeping this game going, trying to outlast this pressure.
Yep. And some more Dawn rested. Looks like the Galdino coming down, just stalling here. We'll be able to draw 2, freeze one of the Sakazukis here. So that's 1 less swing for Cross, more cards in hand for Nick. And a 6K swing coming through will be blocked by the Borsalino. And is going right back to Cross's turn. Now let's see what Cross wants to do. It looks like he's already preemptively tapping his Dawn. Does he have a play lined up? Is it another Sokka or another Borsa? Another Sokka. There is the 4th one. And like you said, he's seen so much of his deck. It's not even surprising that he's found it at this point.
Yep. Oh, I love this lightning play. I love people running this card in this deck. It's like it makes the Sokka just so threatening because you can KO up to a 12K the turn that you're playing it. It gives you these extensible turns where you can just like get around blockers, put more pressure down. And we're looking at what, like 2 8K swings coming through now, plus 1 more from up to 9. You could just spend all 3 Dawn too if you really wanted to.
Yep.
But probably you want to hold it up for I love you. But 8 coming through, it's more than enough. It's going to demand a brick for leader ability and plus a 2K. And yeah, we're just seeing the Admirals come through.
Yeah, quite literally. I still, when I look at this board, I think I'm watching Sengoku and not Rosie. And here comes another 8 coming through. Will get taken. It is another trigger. And that really is important for Nick here. He does need to see some of these triggers out of life. That is the whole point of running this Thriller Bark package. You expect to have some characters popping out of your life. That's part of playing this leader. That is a win con here. Certainly in this game, Nick will need enough attacks to at least represent lethal. And here's another 9 coming through with the Borsa. Is it a trigger?
Ooh, draw 2.
Yep, another trigger, drawing 2. Again, we expect this with NAMI. Most of the deck is triggers, and Cross restanding the Borsa and passing.
Yep, end of turn, restand the Borsa. So this Borsa, I can see the tech now. This is very good.
Yep, and it looks like we are now back 10 Dawn for NAMI, 4 minutes on the clock. This has been a long game. It's a stressful game. Playing on stream is one of the most stressful things for players. And so let's see how Nick decides to play out his turn here. Could drop a Gecko and potentially heal. But he has to think about maximizing pressure as well with his swings, taxing cards. So here's going to be a 5 coming through. We'll see what Cross wants to give. Does he have a 1K? Does he just give the event to grab a 2K? Looks like that was countered.
Yep. So I think this might be Nick's last turn if he can't heal and kind of keep extending the game further.
Yep.
Don't think Cross will want to block this.
Yeah.
He wants to keep that blocker for a juicier swing.
Yeah.
2K law.
Yeah.
That $30 law.
6K swing coming through. It does get blocked.
And what's this? 5 Dawn 4 is a Borsa healing out. And 4 Dawn for another heal?
Yep.
Marco.
All
the
right.
game is going to keep going.
Walling up, both players, building walls, tearing them down. But of course, one thing that Nick does no longer have to worry about is another Sakazuki. They are all currently present on the board here for Cross. But
lightning! Get it out of here. Oh, that's crazy.
And I said it before, but I love seeing decks like this in the hands of a pro player like Cross. It just feels like they always have the answer because they're always digging and searching and finding and thinking ahead. And it's just a deck like this that has so many tools, is so powerful in the hands of someone like Cross. And you can see him here now pondering, what does he want to do with his Dawn? How can he swing to put down the most pressure? Especially
with so many searches, you can actually perfect stack your deck too. Like if you have good memory, you can like kind of back then with RG Law, you can just perfect stack the deck. You know what's still in there. You know what's not in there. You've seen most of the deck.
Yep.
You know how many Borsas are in there. So really powerful. And 8K coming to lead here, so it's going to demand 2 cards minimum here. Nick cannot take this because then it's just way too risky to go down to that low.
Yeah, may opt to just block with the Marco, draw some cards. I don't hate that. I mean, it's always good to know what you're dealing with in terms of how much counter will I have. But looks like he may want to just get the value he can, and of course he does have to worry that all the swings that come after this could be even higher. And so may be thinking, do I want to keep this blocker for a higher swing? But opting to say no, I think I want to draw 2 cards. I need to know what I'm dealing with, how much counter do I have, what do I pitch off leader effect, do I have a play for next turn? And so essentially opting for information here, as well as cards and a block. And another 8 comes through for Cross. Leader effect coming through, and Zeus getting pitched as a 2K. Cross returning a Dawn, draw 1, trash 1, using that alternate Marineford effect. And it looks like another 8K swing is coming through right away. Cross just still keeping all of his Dawn up. Nick, 2 more cards out of hand. 2 1Ks.
Yep.
2 1Ks.
Ooh.
Whenever your opponent pitches 2 1Ks, you start to smell blood.
Blood in the water. Another 8. Send through 2 1s. So won't be able to end the game here. 8 lead again. That's a take. Trigger, Gecko trigger. I think that's a 4 drop. Probably Marco. Yeah. Keep yourself healthy. And then you're going to have to try to find your get away out of here. So 5. I think it's going to be a Borsa to heal.
Yeah, Cross just thinking about what to play, playing on top to get a Borsa, because of course he still does have to survive. There are a number of swings coming this way. And so Cross will have done the math, will know what he needs to survive.
And actually another 5 Dawn. So if he has another Borsa, he could drop it as well.
Interesting. Do you trade another big body here is the question. Looks like he's just going to restand and leave up 5 Dawn.
Yep.
I only need 5 Dawn on this turn. It's fine.
Yeah, so question is, do you live through this turn?
Yeah, it's up to Nick now to put on a lot of pressure. And he needs to try and win. Of course, Cross just saying, I've got 5 Dawn. I could have slow beams. I could have I love yous out the wazoo. I don't need my Dawn. And so Nick has a choice. Does he go for it, or does he keep trying to wall up? I mean, he has 2 cards in hand. What kind of wall can you build with 2 cards? I don't even know if you hit the miracle triggers here. If he played like a Borsa and trigger, I don't even think that saves you in this situation.
Yep.
So here comes the obligatory, let me see your trash. What do I swing? Counting the 2Ks.
Yeah. We are now in 5 minutes overtime. So Nick is turn 0, followed by turn 1 on Cross, turn 2 from Nick, and Cross will have the final turn. So there are still turns to play out for this game, and I believe Cross will still get a final chance to go for a lethal.
Yes, and time always a factor in these games. There is always a win con, especially for decks that can heal, to heal on the last turn, or to wait out the clock and heal. And of course, that can happen even with most players playing at a quick and reasonable pace. That's just the nature of One Piece. This is just part of the game. And so we'll have to see what Nick thinks he can do here. Going to start with a 5K swing, the 5 check.
Quick 5 peppering. Yeah. Slow
and
beam.
the punish.
It's there. It is there. So I don't think Nick has a quite easy survival line here, because if you double Borsa, that's great. But even then, you don't have the Dawn attached to leader, so you can't go to 7K. So still a lot of swings coming through. That's also a 6K attacker that's off the board now in terms of being able to get through.
Yeah.
So 4 minutes left on the clock. Still overtime, turn 0 here. I think a 7's coming through.
Yep. 7.
Still a lot of attacks.
Could be a sign that he's going for it, but he could still play something like a Gecko here and try to heal. And maybe just play for triggers and play for time, because of course there's no way you're getting there.
2 cards in hand. I think I see it's a Gecko and a Borsa, so it is 2 healing options that are present. And slow.
Okay, so Cross wasn't just leaving up a Dawn for no reason.
What? This is okay. So turns out we were the ones who were wrong for thinking that leaving up all that Dawn was a misplay. Turns out it's not a misplay. It's actually an incredibly good play.
Cross with the Foxy.
Rock 2K. Yep. Followed by a Borsa. All right. So let's see what's here. If there's a third lightning in the deck, I think it's pretty cooked from there. But even then, you've got so many swings this turn, and there's 1 card in hand. I think you basically have it guaranteed. Oh, I am blown away by how this game has just like turned back and forth.
Wow.
Holy.
Cross putting on a masterclass with the ROSI here. What a turnaround, Nami, from 6 life. Now down on the ropes, 2 cards in hand, 2 life. And Nick thinking about the trigger here, opts not to trigger it. Another 9 coming through. Speedy. Now at 0 life for Nick. A bunch of Dawn attached to Borsalito. He gets there. Cross is our champion. Oh my goodness, what a crazy game.
Yep. No, what a crazy game. I'm also hearing from production here. We have a clarification on the previous thing that happened. Also, congrats to Cross. That was an insane game. Not only because some of you folks are talking about it. Talking with the judges, they reversed the game state to when the action was taken of the -2 Dawn, because it's not an activate main, it's end of turn. So they reversed back to prior to the activate main, in which case, then end of turn, Cross -2. And then just end at 8.
Yep.
And that's what.
Yeah, and so that, I mean, that's what happens. That's what we call a repairable game state.
You go back to the action, and then you fix it from there. It wasn't that he passed without ending his turn. They just both thought it was an activate main. Both players, that's why the player was willing to take it back.
Yep, and I mean, this is part of the game. Mistakes happen. That's why we have a whole team of amazing judges here. When we look out to the room over there, there's judges, they're mulling about, they're helping resolve all of these judge calls. This is just part of competing at this level.
Yeah.
You have judge calls, you make mistakes, you repair the game, you reverse, you figure it out. It's similar to having a referee in any sport. These things happen, we resolve them, and we move on. And we had a great game.
We're lucky no other actions were taken too, so like it didn't really matter much. But yeah, no, honestly, that was such a fun game for me to watch, just because seeing that life total go from like 6 or 7 all the way back to there is just nuts. And I cannot believe it. I now see why the 7-drop was like. I'm like, oh, should I be running that now? It's like, yeah, that is kind of good against NAMI, isn't it? It's like, is this kind of in a way better than 8-drop, the 8-drop CARTA too, because it's so searchable.
Right.
So I'm like, wow, that's kind of a good card. And also, you kind of want the -Dawn because you want, like, sometimes you, the effect that when it comes into play is you get an active and one rested, right? So you also get an active Dawn.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of stuff. So wow. All right, looks like I gotta go pick that up and try it out.
Yeah, Cross showing us the spicy ROSI tech. Only a few ROSIs remaining, so we'll be keeping an eye on Cross for his run today, and we'll see if he can just get there. If he can keep this momentum and show us how to play ROSI.
Let's see how many goes through. Yeah. So we'll be back very soon with the next round. I believe we're already pairing, so we're gonna quickly go grab the next match right now. But thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back very, very soon with the next match while we go grab it.